All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, beloved clients and partners, and respected peers in the greater HR community. Welcome. My name is Horace Malloy, Head of Marketing at JustLogin, and it's an honor to have all of you attend our much-anticipated Product Launch 2024, titled Groundbreaking AI Advancements for HR. It perfectly encapsulates the two of the biggest topics that we'll be covering today: artificial intelligence and human resources. The new revolution already changing the way we work today, now with an emphasis on how it can dramatically improve HR administrative tasks such as recruiting, appraisal, data insights, and reporting. We have our CEO, KC Kwa, Head of Engineering, Venkat, and Product Owners, CG and Patricia, ready to showcase the hard work JustLogin has put in over the last year and more, presenting new products and features powered by AI, making tasks simpler and more efficient. But today is not all work, right? We catered a high tea buffet later at around 5 p.m., right? And a lucky draw with 3 prizes worth $400. So you want to stick around for that. In addition, whatever that will be covered today during our presentations will be available for a closer look at the back of the auditorium with 3 live demo booths, right? Our product owners will also be there to answer all your questions. All right, these demo booths will also be manned by our expert account managers, so you can always ask them any questions as well. During this time from 5 onwards, feel free to mix, mingle, and network with other guests and staff from JustLogin. We hope you have a wonderful afternoon with us and leave with hope and amazement at what the future of HR looks like with the power of AI. Before we begin, just a few announcements. Firstly, please make sure that you fill in our lucky draw, fill in your details in our lucky draw app called Sweep Widget. You should have seen it during registration. We also have Slido, which is a place that can ask questions to all our presenters. Okay, you can ask them anonymously throughout the event, but we'll only answer them right at the end. All right, so you can ask as we go along, but please wait for your questions to be answered after all presentations are done. All right, and finally, there's one special person I would like to introduce before we begin, new to the JustLogin family and here to share a little bit about himself and his vision for the future of JustLogin. We have our new Chief Operating Officer, Kamlesh Matane.
Good afternoon, everyone, and Harris, thank you for the warm welcome. So once again, good afternoon. Do we have a response to that? Okay, can we try that one more time? I just want to make sure you're awake. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so my name is Kamlesh Matane. I've been with JustLogin for now 3 weeks in counting. I've been in the financial and accounting software industry for the past, 26 years, I think. Don't count back and try to guess my age, please. I've got enough gray over here for you to guess. So I started off with brands like MYOB, which is an Australian accounting software. Then I joined QuickBooks with Intuit. And then I was with Sage. And my last job was with Oracle NetSuite. And once I was with Oracle NetSuite, with them for 6 years, I decided I was done and I wanted to take a break. Because I was just really tired after working for that long, and I decided to call it quits. And I actually went into semi-retirement mode, where I was traveling around Europe, I was traveling around Asia, and I was just chilling and enjoying myself, having a good time. And then I got in touch with Chu Hao. Some of you may know who he is, and KC as well, KC, our CEO. And we were supposed to catch up just for a drink, to catch up casually, and just to see how things are going. And I was showing off to them about my travel and how I was enjoying my alone time for 5 months. And then KC, being the person he is, very good at selling anything to anyone, he managed to convince me to consider joining JustLogin. And after he painted the vision of the company to me, and I'm no stranger to the company. I've known KC for about maybe 12 years. And when I was with my previous company, we actually worked together as JustLogin integrated with the product I was selling, so we had that relationship before. So I was very familiar with the product, I was very familiar with the capabilities, and with some of the team members as well. So long story short, he actually managed to convince me to get out of retirement after 5 months and get back into the working world again, and to really bring this company up to the next level, because with his vision that he has in mind and with the things I have in mind of what I think this company is capable of doing, we're very confident we can work together as partners to bring this company up to the next level. Now, in my time here so far, I have been meeting with all our internal staff, the management team, the individual contributors, and my next goal is to meet with all our partners and our customers especially, because I want to hear from all our customers and partners what your experience has been like with JustLogin. I want to hear the things that are going well. I want to hear the ways that we can improve, and take all that feedback and take it with me to the business plan I will put in place for next year onwards. So can I get a show of hands? How many of you are customers of JustLogin? Okay, thank you. And for those of you who are prospects, considering to, and the rest of you, what are you doing here? Okay, I'll consider that you're just shy to raise your hands. That's okay. We've just had lunch. Maybe your hands are a little bit heavy. But, okay, so customers of JustLogin, please come and see me later. I definitely want to meet you and get some feedback from you. And for those of you who are here considering to get JustLogin for your company, I have not been formally trained in the product, but being in here 3 weeks, I've had to use it myself to apply for leave and expense claims, for example. And it's very intuitive. It's something I managed to get done without any training. I managed to figure it out because it is that user-friendly. Now, I'm not going to blow our own horn. I want you to be the judge yourself. So I hope you enjoy the event today. We have a lot of cool things we are launching today. So please have a look and feel free to speak to any of our team members if you have any questions or clarifications you need. I hope you enjoy yourselves today, and I look forward to meeting all of you sometime soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamlesh. Wonderful. All right, without further ado, let's present our first presenter for today. We have our very own CEO, Casey Kwa.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this product launch today. Today, we are going to unveil a few innovations that I believe will change how HR work. So let's see. Before I begin, in the last 25 years, since I started JustLogin, 1999-2000, there have been 3 major tech events that have completely changed the way we work. The first was the internet boom in the late 1990s. And that's when the world get connected together online. I saw the opportunities to improve business processes by using the internet. And that's when I founded JustLogin to offer HR software on the cloud. So the HR software SaaS is not just started 5 or 10 years ago, it was 25 years ago. That's where we started. And then after that was iPhone. Apple launched iPhone. I think that is another major event that changed how people use technology, because suddenly people were able to do many, many things, so much things on their mobile phones. And 1 year after that, we launched our mobile clock-in to allow employees to do selfie and clock in and capture the data in real time. So, and today, we are in the midst of new revolution. ChatGPT was launched less than 2 years ago. I think among the 3, this is the biggest event that is going to change our life. And you've seen how we reacted to each of these. So we're not going to sit still for this event to pass by. And that's why we are here today. This is the photos when we launched JustLogin in February 2000. And then when we launched Mobile Clock-in, I was trying to sell this in China, following some trade mission and meet some customers in China. And this is why we are here today. So how Gen AI has changed things, I think one thing can change. I can make the photo become alive. Right? So this is the power of Gen AI today. Even this one. So it's just unimaginable in those days, and now we can make the photos alive. I am so happy to see my teammates laughing and waving at me. Right? Yeah. And it was not just the launch of ChatGPT, it was the speed at which this thing progresses that really amazed me. ChatGPT launched in November 2022, and then after that they launched ChatGPT 4, then they launched ChatGPT 4.0 that can speak and see like a human and reason better than human. And this month they launched ChatGPT 0.1. I was expecting 5, but they renamed it to 0.1. Then I think later will be 0.2, 0.3. And that can solve PhD problems. That's really amazing. So how do we write on this? And if you look at the trend, people are predicting about AGI, artificial generative intelligence, which means something that is smarter in any aspect than most human beings. Nobody denied that this will be there. The debate is when. Some people say 2 years, some say 3 years, some say 5 years. The most pessimistic one said 10 years. I think last week, Sam Altman from OpenAI said within thousands days. So it's not very far. We need to be prepared for that because it's going to affect us all, whether it's business or individuals. So what is the future of HR? When ChatGPT was launched, I was really amazed. I was one of the first to go in and try. With a little chat box, a few texts, you can type in anything, it will respond to you anything. You can type in any problem, it will tell you the solutions. It was so amazing. No, you say, give me my recipes, give me the great itinerary for me for these places, and these are my problems, what are the possible solutions? It can do that. So what struck me was, okay, you can do that, but these are old data, reasoning and all that. How can we make it solve our problem? How can we get it answer questions about HR problem? Can I ask you, what is my leave balance? What is my pay slips? Who is on roster today? Can you? No. So I started thinking. And then eventually, after many, many tries, we found a solution. So you are going to see something shortly. So what I'm going to show you first will be from the user's perspective. How a users will be able to chat with their own data, their own HR data. So for example, in this case, a leave users. What typically a leave user want to know? What's my leave balance? Maybe assuming you are using our system, you know there's a leave adjustment with expiry date. What are the leave adjustment that will expire in 3 months? In the old way, you got to go to HR or you got to navigate through multiple pages in the system to find the answers, and sometimes you just don't know where to find them. But I'm going to show you how we can do that here. You just ask in a conversational way, what is my leave balance? Anybody can type, can ask. And right away, it presents to you the information that you want. You ask, do I have leave adjustment that will expire in 3 months? And you get that information you want, instantly, real time. It's not getting yesterday's data, it's getting the data now. So the AI understand your intent, which is the power of generative. They understand your intent. And based on your intent, they present the information in such a way that they think you need to know. I never tell them to show me the format, leave type. I just say leave expiry, show me the leave type, the expiry date. Right? I even display in such a nice way that I never specify. So this is leave user. Let's look at people user. For those who use our system, people users, employee manage all the employee data. You want to know about your personal information in the system, assuming you are employment pass holder, you want to know when is my pass expiry date, or what is my destination history, right? For this, sometimes employees don't know that information are available in the system, or don't know where to find them, because it's quite complex. If you look at the menus on the right, you click something, you open up another sub-menu. You click something, you go to a page has some sub-menus. So not easy. But with this, you just type, what's my employment pass expiry date? And ChatGPT will be smart enough to look out for you. Right? Or you ask, what is my destination history, your promotion history from the system? And it present to you in a way that is friendly, because I never ask, show me job grade, department, start date, end date for this. No, but it knows that if you ask this question, you need that information, and it get the information for you right now in real time. Okay, let's look at another example for attendance user. Assuming you are looking for a restaurant, part-timers, and all that, you need to know your roster, you need to know your OT, and you just don't know where to find them, because I need to log in, but there's so many items on the left, where to find. So now, with AI, you can just simply say, what is my roster for next week? And it will present to you in such a way that you don't need to ask the next question. Show you the information about next week roster with the date, the day, the site, the time, everything is there. Just by asking question. And anybody can ask that question. Or what is my OT hours for this month? A very typical question by employees. Again, you don't need to navigate through pages on the left menu. You just ask, and you get right away. So these are employees, right? I'm going to show you the last example for employees. As a payroll users, what are the typical questions a payroll users, employee want to know? What is my pay slip, right? Or even more complicated one, what is my commission? Not just for this month, for the whole year, January until now. And even more challenging one, plot me a chart. You think can do it? Anybody think you can do plot a chart? Raise your hand. Have you tried ChatGPT? It's all very smart. Let's see. Okay, show me my payslip for last month. Right? I never say what format, but it's so smart that it's able to draw the line, say these are additional pay elements, these are deduction pay elements, these are statutory contributions, employer CPF, they separate them nicely. As if they know about payslip, how payslips look like and what information you need. Without the employee telling them, what's my payslip, you get this. And what is my commission, assuming you're a sales guy, commission, and I try to be a bit more challenging, from January until now. And I say, plot me a chart. Right? So let's see. Whether you can plot you a chart, you can calculate, get a commission for you from January until now. Can you plot the chart? Okay, here you are. Give a nice chart. I can even say, change to red color, change to line chart. It's very obedient. You just do it, believe me. All right. So From this example, you can see that the interaction with HR will no longer be the same. You don't need complicated UI. You just need a checkbox, just like ChatGPT, for your employees to ask in a conversational way any information they want. Right? So what about the administrator, the HR? What can they do? Let's move on to the persona of an administrator for HR. Start with leave admin. So what typically leave admin wants to know? Who's on leave today? Too easy. Who from engineering department is on leave today? Or who has leave balance less than X days because maybe they are tight or something. So let's try. Who's on leave? No, who from engineering department has taken sick leave? Oh, this one maybe HR is more interested to know. In the last 3 months, sick leave. Right? You don't need to navigate to find the report. Maybe the report is not even there, but you just ask, and it's there. And who has less than 8 days of annual leave balance remaining from engineering department. So you can even narrow down to individual department or do whatever filtering you want. And I bet you probably cannot find a report that can do that, because you need to develop the report with that filter. But with this, you just ask and you get it. Do you need to learn how to ask? You don't need, right? It's just there. Let's go on to the next persona as the people administrator. What do you want to know as a people administrator? Maybe you want to, your boss asks for a report. Hey, give me the list of employees. I want to see department, I want to see their join date, I want to see their age. And show me only maybe people who's younger than 35 or female or whatever filter your boss asks. Then you go to report and find, hey, no such report. And call JustLogin. No, we also don't have, no, we need to enhance and something, but don't worry. Now, let's see. What is the question? Show me the employees from engineering department, including their names, destination, join date, age. Of course, you can add more if you want. And you will get those information real time. Right? And what's next you want to know? Show me the names of employees who resigned and hired last month. So basically 5 new hires and new joiners last month or this month. You get it? And it's even smart enough to split the answer into 2 parts. Resignees, the resign date, joiners, the new date. But you only show me, 2. Correct. They break into 2 with different header. Right. So this is people admin. And let's look at another persona, so attendance admin. What typically attendance admin wants to know? They are managing roster, managing attendance, calculate OT, and trying to see who's late today, who hasn't clocked in, what's the OT hours of so and all that, right? So let's ask a simple question. Who's late today? Who's late today? Typically, they want to know, the boss want to know, hey, my restaurant's supposed to start at 9 o'clock, but who's late today? You get the answer, right? You get the shift, even provide the shift time, what's supposed to come and time, and who's rostered to work today? These are very typical questions. You just ask, and you get it. And show me OT hours worked by employees from sales department, right? You want to be challenging. Show me OT hours. You don't need to navigate through the report again. You just show me what you want, and you get it. Okay? So again, the attendance admin life will be much easier. Anything you want to know? Ask. Not ask ChatGPT. Ask JustLogin. Yeah. Okay, last one I want to show is who's payroll administrator. What would it be? What kind of question the payroll admin wants to know? I think before they process a payroll, normally they want to know who are the resignees, who are the new hires, anybody has taken no pay leave. These are the things they want to take care. Then maybe very often we get requests to say, can I have this payroll report because I cannot find in the list of reports you have. I want this report specifically to have this column, this column, this column. Right? I think nobody can cater for anything. You want this column, that's customer one, that column, right? You will definitely find something that is not available in some system. But with AI, don't worry. Right? So let's see how he answer. Who are the employees, new hires and resignees this month? Because if they resign, you need to do something extra steps. And instantly, you get the answer. And it's a real-time answer. Unlike ChatGPT is trained for April 2023, but this is the answer. But you only provide me one name. I will continue. What about the two hires? Two new hires, because above you only provide me with the resignee. So you continue and tell me the other two. It's just like ChatGPT, right? And I get what I want. Okay? And has anyone taken no pay leave last month? It's very important. You need to deduct money, right? Or do transfer to make sure no pay leave is applied to the payroll. You get the answer. And the most challenging part is to generate a custom payroll report that you want, the way you want it, for the people you want to see, for the department you want to see. Right? Very selective. Show me the report for last month for Wendy and Kate. And I want to see department, name department, basic pay and commission. Your boss asked for this, assuming. And you got to quickly get the report. And next time your boss won't ask for it, the boss can type, right? Don't even ask you for it. And you get the number. So you get the gist of how this works. We just plug our HR data onto the AI engine, and you will consume the data and use that to answer, understand your intent, and present the data the way you want it. All right. So to summarize, your HR data is now just a chat away, right? Just a chat away. Anybody can do it. It's a conversation. Using your conversation to get the data you want it. And there is no learning curve, right? Nobody conduct how to ask ChatGPT question. Of course, there's prompt engineering, but you just ask the way you ask your HR, hey, where's my pay slip? What is my no pay leave? What's my, just the way you ask your HR, you cannot ask yourself. Relieve your HR of this other work. And next time your boss asks you, can I have the report? You say, you can also ask yourself, so you can do other work. Your boss will just go there and say, I want the pay slip report, payroll report for the month with this column, this column. They can do it themselves. And it's real time, right? As we know, ChatGPT 4.0 right now is trained until April 2023, right? If you ask for new things, you got to go and search. This is real time. Anytime, 5 seconds ago, somebody clock in, they say, who clock in the last 1 hour, you get them, right? Okay, that's about the chatbot. I'm going to cover one more thing about how we use Gen AI in our products. I think we have an expense module. Some of you use it quite heavily. That was developed a few years ago. It's very smart. I probably can beat anyone among competitors. It can scan the receipt, extract the information, create an expense claim. Right? I think some of you have used it. But there are some challenges. The one challenge is that it cannot accurately determine the currency. right? You always see dollar. Dollars. Dollar, is it Sing dollars? Is it US dollars? Is it Canadian dollars? Is it what dollar? Sometimes you scan the receipt, become US dollars. So that is a challenge, number one. Currency is very hard to find, because you get the data, dollar is a dollar. Secondly is the GST, right? Some receipts put the percentage, some don't put the percentage, some put the amount, and some put service charge, 10%. People, sometimes you take the service charge as a GST. So it's another challenge. Third one is the most challenging one. Anybody in the world right now, if they're offering expense claim, they will have the same challenge. It's not just us in Singapore. Anybody, before we do this, there is after you scan, what do you need to do? You need to enter the expense category, correct? You need to expense, otherwise you cannot submit, because the finance will want to know this is for entertainment, this is for travel, or this is for what. So that becomes a mandatory field. So you scan, you've got to fill up that field. But with our expense right now integrated to AI, it's just amazing. It's amazing, I can tell you. That the currency will be accurately, I won't say 100%, but very accurately determined. It will not be just based on the currency symbols. It will look at the whole thing, right? If it's a Japanese, Japanese yen. If the telephone number is Malaysia, is a ringgit. If the address of the company is in Africa, then is that, So it's intelligent now to say this currency, although it's the same dollar sign, but it means different things by looking at the whole thing. And also it can extract, look at the amount, work out the GST rate and all that. And the most fascinating thing is that after looking at the receipt, we pump in your expense category that you have created for your own company and say, pick the one that is closest to the nature of the expense. And most of the time, I think more than 80%, you can pick correctly. Right, let me show you a demo of this. Right. I think you're familiar with our expense claim. You scan a receipt, you will extract the information, and then get the details. And then you see at the top, it will suggest, because this restaurant and two-person, and look at the timing and look at everything, pick out the GST, look at it's a sing currency, everything, fill out a reference number, the merchant name, and everything. You don't even need to do anything. You don't even need to select the category. So we are also making this available to our customers. Right? So as you have seen, we are not just talking about the future HR. We are living it. It's going to transform how HR interact with your own data. Right? With the power of generative AI, we are not just solving problems that you or your teams face in HR, but we are unlocking opportunities, unlocking possibilities that were out of reach before. And most important thing is, this is just the beginning. We see ChatGPT 4.40.01. So with the progress of the AI revolutions, so were our solutions. Right now, our engine behind is this model, but when it become ChatGPT 02, 03, 04, 05, and AGI, we will be as smart, along the way. Right? So our commitment is that we will continue to stay on top, above the curve, to continue to innovate, to bring to make working life better for you, for our customers, and for everybody. So thank you for joining us today, and I am excited to partner with you to travel this journey into the future of HR. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Casey. So again, we have opportunities for you to ask questions. All you have to do is just scan this QR code. We'll be using Slido, right? Again, you can ask questions as we go along, but we'll answer them only after all the presentations are done. All right, so I'll just leave this on for another 5 more seconds. If anybody's interested, again, you can ask Casey about the AI chatbot, about the expense claims. All our presenters, whatever topics that they are covering, you can also ask questions there. Okay, perfect. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker talking about appraisal, AI-powered appraisal. We have Venkat.
Thank you, Harris. All right, my name is Venkat. I'm here to introduce to all of you our brand new module, the AI-powered appraisal module. Okay, so before going into the AI aspect, right, I want to introduce appraisal first because, like I said, it's a new module that we have. So what is appraisal? It's basically our employee performance management system, or PMS in short. A lot of you would have used PMSs in your own organizations before. So essentially what appraisal module does is it helps you to record organizational success criteria. Different organizations have different success criteria. It could be outbound like sales performance, or it could be inbound like certain cultural values, or there's a lot of such criteria. So it helps record that, and once it's recorded, the second step is it helps to measure your employee performances against this success criteria, right? So the industry standard for doing this is through 360-degree feedback, right? And I am pretty sure a lot of you would know about 360-degree feedback. It's very common out there. So, but in a nutshell, what it is for an employee, the manager will rate the employee based on the success criteria. The subordinates will rate them. The employee themselves will rate themselves, plus their peers will rate them. So it's basically all around feedback about an employee's performance against the success criteria, right? So it helps do that. And finally, help gather insights and data, right? So I claim myself to be strong in something. Am I really strong? My peers would know. So that kind of hidden strengths or blind spots or actual strengths, these kind of insights could be received with the appraisal module or PMS in general. So this is kind of an industry standard, right? Every PMS module does this, exactly this. So why did JustLogin venture into doing this? To answer that question, right, I would like to refer back to a Gartner report that talks about the hurdles in adopting 360-degree feedback. I have seen this firsthand myself. I know how stressful my own HR team is at that time of the year when they're supposed to prepare the appraisals and send it across to all the employees, make sure they all do it, and on time also, then moderate it. So it's a huge thing. So there's a lot of hurdles that are there. And according to Gartner, the first thing is it's onerous work. It's a lot of work to do, just like what I said. Right? So it's a lot of work, and as a result, it's time-consuming as well, right? And this is not the only HR activity to be done at that time of the year, right? You still need to do payroll processing. You still have other paperwork to do. So along with that, this is going to take up your time. And finally, the last hurdle, according to Gartner, is technical complexities, okay? The technology or the tool that you choose to do the 360 feedback with, right, that can add on to the timing and effort that you need to run the 360 feedback. Okay? So in terms of setting up the employee data, finding the format that your tool allows you to import it in, then setting up the manager structure, the subordinate structure, the entire hierarchy, it takes time. right? So this is what we in JustLogin were trying to solve when we came out with the appraisal module, okay? And how do we solve it? How did we solve it, right? So number one, it is integrated with our people module. To those of you who know our people module, it's actually the employee repository that has all the data in it. So what that means is that the employee information, including the full name, the designation, the departments, and even the reporting structure, who's the manager, who else is reporting to this employee. All these information are already available in Just People and readily pulled into the appraisal module, okay? And the second way we are trying to remove the hurdles is through the JustLogin AI framework. We launched generative AI integration with JustLogin 1 year ago, last September. And we've been going very strong now. You just witnessed with Casey what all we could do with AI. So the JustLogin AI framework is very, very strong. Later on, even my other colleagues, when they present, you will get to see how this framework helps JustLogin's modules, right? So the integration with this JustLogin AI framework is also one of the key ways in which we will reduce your hurdles and challenges, okay? So now, unveiling for the first time, the AI-powered appraisal module. So we are going to keep simplicity and efficiency at its core. So we are going to just talk about 3 steps. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3 on how you can use this module, okay? Step 1, you configure it. You set it up basically during the, whenever it's time to do the review cycle. And then next, once you launch it, you monitor and moderate the entire 360-degree feedback that's going on. And finally, gather insights. Okay? Now, let's see how our system helps you to do these 3 steps easily, if I can say that. Okay? So, let's start with setting it up first. So, like I said, this is the UI that is used to actually set up the review cycle itself, or the 360 feedback cycle. So your success categories for the company can be, or the success criteria could be entered in the category over there. It could be leadership skills, it could be sales performance, it could be anything, right? And then you have the option to add multiple categories like that. And under each category, you could add a lot of questions. Basically, your employees will be rated across these questions and across these success criteria. Okay, so let's take a look at how that is done. You have the question title there, and you can see a preview of that here as you type it. And then you can add on a lot of information like description, tooltip, and you can even change the type of question. This is an example of a free text question, which is an open-ended question to describe some behaviors of the employee, right? So this is okay, this is flexible. But you got to do it for, say, 10 categories and across maybe 10 questions across each category. Would we want you to do that? No, we don't. We don't want you to do that. That is why our AI framework comes into the picture and tries to help you sort this out. So look at this version of it where AI is there. It's integrated with the AI framework. Once I enter the category name over there, I'm just going to press this button and see what it does. Just looking at the category itself, or the success criteria itself, it actually fetches industry standard questions that are usually relevant for the 360-degree feedback. And it takes the liberty also to identify some rating scale questions and also some open text questions. And then, of course, if it's too much, you can delete it. If it's too little, you can add on more. Or, it's completely flexible. So the AI is just going to recommend the questions to you, and you can take it from there. Okay? So that's how AI can help with this. Next, just a few more steps to set the thing up is, of course, you're going to choose the list of employees who are going to be part of the appraisal itself. All these information are from the people module. You don't need to set this up at all. Okay? And then you also saw, maybe let me replay the video if you haven't seen this here. So after selecting the employees, right, when I choose the relationships that are part of this review cycle, right, you would notice that the employees here, gets automatically picked up as well. So who are the employees who will be doing the self-review? Who are the employees who will be doing the manager review? And so on. So this is being fetched from people module as well. So you don't need to set it up. Okay? So with this, the basic setup is done, but of course you have the choice to do fine-tuning of this as well. So for example, you want the sequence of the appraisal to go in a specific order. You want self-reviews to be done first, followed by manager, and then upward, and then the peer. Of course, you can do that. We have a preset for that here, readily available. But if you want to change it, of course, you have the freedom to change it. So that's there. And other fine-tunable features like, what kind of, who should be notified when someone completes the review cycle, or, should it be anonymous, non-anonymous? So you have all those nitty-gritty details. So we have defaults for some of it. Some of it you can choose to key in yourself, okay? So these are the details that you can set up. And once done, you can launch the cycle, okay? It's going to be like that. Once it is launched, you're into the monitor and moderate phase. This is kind of like our control panel or our dashboard, where you can have a bird's eye view of the entire cycle that's going on. Okay? So you can see a big progress bar of the entire cycle here, and then you can see individual relationship-based progress also here. And then individually, you can also see the tick marks against the employees who did complete their cycles. Okay? So as the cycle progresses, the progress bar also moves across, and it keeps moving. And in case you want to see what responses each one has given, and then you want to moderate it. Because I'm pretty sure not every department in your organizations are rating employees the same way. There could be biases involved, right? There could be employees who rate very nicely to their friends, and not so much good rating for other people. So there are certain biases, right? So the HR can then come here, click on the edit icon, and then see what ratings have been given there, and then take a judgment call on whether this is fair or whether a moderation need to be done on top of it. And this comes with an audit trail as well. Okay? Along with it, we have something else cool as well. We call this our comparison view. So what you can do is, you can click on this button here, and it opens up this pop-up where you can compare side by side the responses given between self and other people. It could be one person or aggregated multiple people, and it's aligned with the question. So when you see this in this perspective, right, you can actually see where you stand as an employee and where an employee stands on a HR's perspective side. Okay? So this is what we call the comparison view. And this helps, monitor and moderate. Finally, in terms of gaining insights, we actually have 3 reports right now, and we are also trying to add on more reports into this as well. So one of the reports that we have is the rating report, where you can see every employee's rating across every other employee and how the average has been for that. The next one is individual performance summary, where you can see across every employee what are the ratings given for them across each question and success criteria. Okay? And finally, you have something cool. This is the radar report. So what this does is, you can actually mouse over the thing, and then you can see the entire radar. The radar has the axis as the success criteria. So if the company has these success criteria, right, you will be able to find out which areas the employee has strength in and which areas there's a gap or a blind spot. Okay? So we have all of this, and as a cherry on top of the cake, right, like I said, we are integrated with JustLogin's AI framework. So it won't be a surprise if a chatbot comes into this module as well, where you can just chat and ask, what are my blind spots? What do I think is my hidden strength? So I can ask all of that, and then I can get the information. So yeah, that's all, guys. This is the appraisal module powered by AI. The module is there on the booths also. So after the entire event, you can give it a shot, try it out yourselves. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Venkat. Again, that is our brand new appraisal module, and again, powered by AI and a few of the features. Same thing, same QR code. If you have any questions for Venkat to answer later, you can always scan and put in your questions. And one more time, we will cover all the questions during a Q&A session after all the presentations are done. We'll have about 15 to 20 minutes just to answer for Q&A. All right? Now, next, another new module, Visitor Management, presented by product owner CG.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm CG. So today I'll be presenting to you guys a new module that JustLogin has been developing for the past year, Visitor Management. So what is Visitor Management? So it's a solution designed to manage visitor in your facilities. By using our Visitor Management, it helps you to streamline your visiting process, minimize effort required to manage visitors, as well as improve your workplace security. So can you recall a time where the visitor were actually unmanaged? So your workplace become disorderly, and you also run the risk of having your important documents being mismanaged. So having an effective visitor management, it helps to enhance the security, efficiency, as well as the experience between the visitor and the staff. So why JustLogin Visitor Management? So in JustLogin Visitor Management, we have made some feature itself to allow you to manage your visitor effectively. So today I'll be sharing with you guys 3 main features in our visitor management. First, you'll be able to send out personalized invitation. Second, you will be able to grant your visitor self-serve registration. And lastly, a cloud-based visitor log. So with JustLogin Visitor Management, you'll be able to customize invitation to be sent out to your guests. So with this customized invitation, it adds a personal touch to this invitation to make your guests feel valued. Next, with the self-serve registration, the guests are empowered to actually do this registration themselves to register their arrival. In addition, with JustLogin user-friendly interface, this makes it much more easy for the visitor to do this registration. For the receptionist or the HR themselves, this will actually remove the time needed for you to do this mundane task. And lastly, with JustLogin cloud-based solution, you'll be able to access this visitor records anytime, anywhere. So how can we use this visitor management in our workplace itself? So firstly, registration for a scheduled visitor, as well as registration for unscheduled visitor. So for scheduled visitors, such as clients that you have invited for meetings, and unscheduled visitors, such as delivery from your delivery personnel that you do not know when is their ETA. But before we go with how they do the registration themselves, let's see how we can create invites for these scheduled visitors. So in our visitor management itself, we have this page, invite. Okay? So what this page does is it provides an overview of who are the visitors that you are expecting and when are you going to expect them. Okay? And this page itself, you are able to add new invite for new visitors simply by clicking on the send invite. So after clicking this send invite button, you'll be navigated to this page where on the left side, you have to fill up the details of the invitation. And on the right side, there's a preview of the email invitation that you will be sending out to your visitor. So after all these details have been inputted, our email preview will show what is the actual invitation that will be triggered via email to our guests. Okay? And after all this content have been vetted and invite button has been clicked on, an invite record will then be created in our system. At the same time, the invite will be sent to our visitor via email. So this is how the system creates invites for our guests. Next, let me go on how the guest is able to do the registration via our system. So for registration, there are two parts to it. First, self-registration, and second, assisted registration. So for self-registration for scheduled visitors such as our customer, partners, or maybe interviewee, what can they do? They can simply open up their email invitation, click on this check-in button, and they will be redirected to a pre-filled form. So all these details are actually inputted by the HR or the receptionist when they create the invite. So what they need to do next is click on the check-in button, and their arrival will be recorded in the system itself. At the same time, the system will trigger a push notification to the host or the HR via to their mobile app. So at that time, they can then grant entry remotely or welcome the guests at the lobby directly. So in the case of registration for, assisted registration for our scheduled visitor, such as our supplier or vendors, where they are unable to do self-registration, maybe due to their hands are full with the items that they are delivering. What we can do is, inside our invites page itself, just select on the invite record and click on check-in. Upon clicking on the check-in, you can see that the arrival time is being recorded. Okay? So with the discussion on scheduled visitors, next, let's go with unscheduled visitors. These unscheduled visitors make up bulk of our visit in our workplace. So groups of people such as our delivery personnel, which I think most of us commonly use, such as our food delivery, okay? We do not expect them to come to our office on a certain dates, okay? So whenever we are ordering stuff from them, then they are coming. So how can they do check-in with our visitor management? So what they can do is simply scan on the QR that's embedded on the poster that's pasted outside the office. So when they scan on this QR, they will be direct to a similar page for our scheduled visitors. But in this case, all the details are empty because no invites have been created for them. What they need to do, fill up the details and click on check-in. And their arrival time will be recorded. Similarly, a push notification will be triggered to the host mobile. Next, for assisted registration for unscheduled visitors, what they can do is, or what HR or host can do is, click on the Add Visitor in our dashboard and fill up the details over here. But what makes this unique is you are able to specify the arrival time itself. So this gives you the flexibility to create or record this visit even after the visit itself. Okay, so I have shared with you how our visitor management works, and it is a very comprehensive system itself, where we are able to cover different scenarios that we face in our actual work life itself. Next, let me show you guys a new hardware that we are working on, the Biocom Access Unit. So this new hardware is specifically integrated with our visitor management. And what is so unique about it is it improves communication between visitor and host, which I will explain in the later part. And next is a seamless integration. Okay, so once it has integrated with our visitor management, and you have this device itself, for unscheduled visitors, you do not need to have them to do the self-registration or create the invites for them themselves. They can just simply scan their face on this device, and we will register their attendance or their arrival. So this device itself provides a two-way communication. Whenever a visitor or a stranger approach the device, okay, it will show a call button over here. Okay? What it does is the visitor can then press on this call button, and it will initiate a call to the host. Okay? And once the host pick up the call and communicate with the visitor themselves, he can then trigger a door open command to our door system to allow them access into our office. To build on top of this two-way communication, there's a call forwarding feature within this device itself. So excluding the host, we are able to configure 5 more contacts within this device. So whenever the host themselves is unavailable, the call will be forwarded to the next point of contact, which will help to minimize our visitor from waiting for the call to be connected. And lastly is the integration. So as I mentioned, there's a two-way communication where we are able to call the host, the visitor is able to call the host via this device. But how is this call triggered? Because we have integrated this with our mobile app. So it's similar to something like a WhatsApp call, where you trigger this and it calls through the mobile themselves. So no voice call is being triggered from this end. Yep. With all this being said, let me show you guys a demo of how we are using this access unit.
Hello,
Hello, how can I help you today?
I'm here for an interview.
Okay, opening the door for you.
Thank you.
Yep. So in this case itself, you can see that when an interviewee actually approach the office, she does not need to do the self-registration by scanning the QR. With this device, she can connect with the host, and the host is able to grant the access to the facilities for her directly. Yep. With that, I'll end my presentation for visitor management. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, CG. Again, that's totally brand new. Visitor management, again, is something that is launching today. And if you have any questions, same thing. Here's the QR code for the Slido. You guys have been doing very well. I've been seeing all the questions come in. Right? So again, if you have any questions for CG regarding visitor management, again, you can scan the QR code and ask your questions there. There's only going to be one presenter left, and then we'll go through Q&A. All right? So the next presenter, talking about reintroducing recruitment and custom forms now 2.0 version, we have product owner Patricia.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Patricia. Thank you for joining us today. So today I'll be presenting to you Recruitment and Custom Form 2.0. Okay, so let's start off with recruitment first. Okay, I believe everyone here, you are somehow or other you will be involved in the hiring processes. You can be the HR, you can be the CEO, you can be the owner of the company, and you play either the major role or very minor role in hiring a person in your company. So let me give you a scenario. Let's say your company currently hiring for 5 different positions. Okay, so you post it out there, you are receiving candidates, right? And for each job opening, you are receiving 100 candidates. Okay, so now you have 500 candidates. How are you going to narrow it down to 5 suitable candidates for your company? It's like finding a needle in a haystack, right? Okay, so how are we going to do this with JustLogin? So JustLogin Recruitment 1.0 is actually been there for the last 1 year. Okay, so what we offer in Recruitment 1.0. First one, AI-powered job opening configuration. Okay, now when you are hiring, you are looking to post a job, what you need? You need to have the information of the particular job. You need to know what is the responsibility of the person that's going to join for this opening. You need to know the specific skill set. Okay, so it can be for an account manager, it can be for a sales personnel, it can be for a very technical person. Okay, so you need to know every single skill set that you're looking for, the requirements, the education. So you need to know all that. But with AI, JustLogin Recruitment, okay, we will actually generate that for you in just 2 information. Okay, so with the click of a button. So all this, I'll show you a video later on. So let's run through the second item. All right, so the second functionality that we have is AI-powered candidate scoring and comparison. So going back to our earlier scenario, okay, you have 100 candidates. So how are you going to score and compare your candidates? So first and foremost, you're going to run through all your candidates, look for a very specific experience, let's say 2 to 5 years. From 100, you narrow it down to 50. So out of this 50, now you have to run through a specific skill set. Then you narrow it down to 40. And then you have all these criteria in place. So it's going to take a lot of your time. Okay, so this is actually manual work. All right? And then how are you going to compare between both all these candidates? So there's somehow rather going to be a certain bias that involve their age, their gender, or anything else that can be involved, right? How many years they have worked, all right? So AI, JustLogin Recruitment module will actually be able to do all this for you. Score the candidate, compare the candidate for you, and actually narrow it down to the suitable candidate for this position, all right? And then the third feature that we have is the AI recruitment lifecycle. So recruitment is not just about sourcing the right candidate, right? You also need to go through the entire process. Interview, giving feedback, and then on top of that, you need to go through the onboarding process. So it's actually the entire life cycle, okay? So with recruitment, with JustLogin Recruitment, you will be able to actually, especially for the interviewers, okay? You need to think of the questions that you want to ask, okay? What kind of question? What is the suitable question? Okay, so we will be able to actually generate those questions for you. So let's look at the first video, okay? So the first video is actually on the job opening configuration, all right? How you can do this with AI with just 2 information. So first and foremost, you can put in the job title. So let's say we are keying in Senior Software Engineer and the location. So the rest of the fields is actually up to you. You can choose to fill or you can choose not to fill. And by a click of button, generate with AI. So let's just give it a few seconds, and AI will actually generate the job summary, the responsibility, and the requirements for you. So if you want it to narrow it down further for you, right, you want a very specific skill set, just fill up the information above, and then click on regenerate, and we will regenerate based on the information that you have provided. All right? So this is the first part. And after you have done this, you're going to have to configure how you want to, the criteria that you're looking for. So we have 2 AI configuration here. The first one that is enable passing resume via AI. So what this does, the moment you post the job out there, your candidates are going to start applying, right? So when the candidates start applying, with JustLogin Recruitment, we will actually pass the resume with AI into JustLogin module. Okay, so what this will do is, it will actually go in and pick the skills that you're looking for. It will actually go in and pick certain criteria that you're looking for. And how we know what criteria that you're looking for, that is the second section. Okay, enable scoring resume via AI. So you will see the little box there, it actually shows 2 to 5 years of experience, right? You can actually put in as many criteria as you want. You can say that I'm looking for someone with Mandarin speaker. Okay, someone have like 5 years of leadership experience. Okay, you can look for someone that able to converse in a different language like Japanese, Korean. Okay, so just put in every single criteria that you want, and we will actually score the candidate based on your criteria. But you can also choose not to. Then we will actually be a general scoring of the candidate. So it's really up to you. All right? So once you have configured your job openings, we will actually go in, we will start receiving all your candidates. Okay? So let's say now you have received, your candidates start applying, you will see the entire information over here. So here, you will see we have something called AI score. So this AI score is based on whatever criteria that you have put in or the general criteria itself. All right? Our scoring comes from 1 to 10. Okay, so 10 being the best, the suitable candidate for this position, and 1 being the least suitable candidate for this position. Okay, so you can actually filter this out. You can choose candidate based on this scoring. It's really up to you. All right? So once your AI scoring is there, what happens next? Comparison. Okay, because that is an individual view, right? So you see that candidate A have 5, candidate B have 6, okay? So what will happen? How are you going to compare all the candidates? So we have a comparison page over here. So all the fields that you see above, like AI score, experience, skills, education, all this is something that you can configure, okay? If you want to see 3 fields, you will be able to turn off the rest of the fields. If you want to see 5 fields, you'll be able to just turn it on back, okay? Here, we will actually compare all the candidates for you. So the first candidate that has an AI scoring of 8 with 9 years of experience and with this skills and this education. The second candidate have AI score of 8, 10 years of experience with this skills and this education. Okay, so this is how you can actually compare your candidates without any biasness. All right, so once the comparison is done, you will go into the recruitment life cycle. Okay, so every candidate that actually applied for a job will have their own profile. Okay, so I'm going to play a video. Okay, so it starts off showing you the candidate information, and then there's a resume. You can scroll through, and you can view the resume of the candidate. Okay, from this candidate resume, you will go through the profile. You will see an AI summary. So AI summary is actually 150 characters summary of the entire candidate profile. Okay, they are based on their resume. And then you will see that interview question just now. So that is actually the AI-powered interview question for the interviewers. Okay, so basically what we will do is the moment the interviewers click on the button, we'll generate 10 suitable questions for the interviewers. So if they think that the questions are not suitable, they can always regenerate. A new list of questions will pop up for them. Okay, then they can pick and actually interview the candidates based on the questions that they are looking for. Okay, so now what we have done in Recruitment 2.0. Okay, so just now Casey have actually shared on AI chatbot. So we have incorporated AI chatbot in Recruitment 2.0. So you'll see all the AI capabilities earlier, right? But you might still end up with a substantial amount of candidates, okay? Because they are all very good. Okay, so let's say you have 10 candidates. Are you going to interview all the 10 candidates, or are you going to narrow it down further? So I'm going to show you how AI chatbot plays a big role in recruitment, how it's going to help all the HRs, the recruiters to actually narrow it down, find the right candidate for your organization. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a very simple question. All right, so we're going to start off with how many job openings are available in the company? Sometimes that's the most important question, right? How many people are we hiring? So, as you can see here, I just asked one question, okay? How many job openings are available? But AI actually gave me a breakdown of the entire thing. It showed me the job title, the location, the number of positions that I'm hiring for that particular job, and the number of candidates that actually applied for the job. All right, so you just have to ask one question in order to get a full-fledged answer. Of course, you can always ask more questions on this, right? So let's take account manager into consideration now for our second question. So you have 47 candidates. How are you going to narrow it down further? Okay, so let's ask a simple question of, can you provide the list of candidates with 2 years of experience? All right? Okay, so I just asked one simple question. I only want candidate with more than 2 years of experience. And from 47 candidates, the AI have actually narrowed it down to 7 candidates. So now you know that out of the 47 candidates, only 7 candidates actually meet your first requirement. Okay? And not only that, it actually provides you more information such as skills, education, total experience, and also the AI score that we saw earlier. Okay? So from here, you can just stop here. Okay, you can go ahead, interview all the 7 candidates, okay, but there's going to be a nagging behind your head that asks you that, okay, out of this 7, who's the best, right? Okay, so you can actually go down, you can actually ask more questions. You can actually ask AI to actually tell you the list of candidates that possess channel sales management with AI scoring of 7 and above, okay? So now what will happen is, it will actually provide you with the particular candidate with that prompt that you have put in, okay? So now you have ended up with one candidate. So from 47 candidates, we have actually narrowed it down to 1 candidate, okay? So of course, if from the 47 candidate you think that you want to actually ask more questions or different kind of questions, you can always do that, okay? So we are using 47 candidates as an example, but let's assume that most of the jobs that you are posting out there actually have more than 47 candidates. It can be 100, 150, even to 300, right? So how are you going to narrow them down? AI chatbot actually going to play a very, very vital role in helping you to find the suitable candidate, at least for the ones that you want to start with the interview process, right? So of course, you're not going to directly go into one, but maybe the 7 earlier might be the right candidate for your organization, all right? So with that, I will move on to my second presentation of the day, okay? So custom form. What is custom form, okay? So for custom form, let's say, for all of us here, okay, if you need something, what do you do from your company? You send in a request, right? Okay, sending in a request, there can be multiple forms that is available in your organization. It can be like very simple forms, asset management form. Okay, you want a request for a laptop, you need to send in a form. You want a request for a mouse, you need to send in a form. Okay, you want a request to travel to visit your colleagues or to visit your team in a different country, you need to send in a form. You want to request for a budget for a team lunch, you need to send in a form. Okay, so what makes JustLogin's custom form different? Okay, so first and foremost, it is customizable form, and also we have a workflow creation. So what we mean by customizable form, okay, it is very versatile. Okay, so the forms that you have, you need to have specific fields. Okay, so for transport forms, traveling form, you need to have traveling fields that is related to travel, okay? And then for budget request form, you need to have fields that is related to budget, okay? So for JustLogin custom form module, you can actually decide which form have how many fields. You can have 10 fields, you can have 20 fields, you can have 1 field. It's really up to you. It's very versatile. And then workflow creation, okay? So workflow creation means the entire approval flow. So let's say, for now, if let's say you're doing a very manual way, okay, so how's your approval going to be? Your staff fill up a manual form, and then they go around or send it to HR go around and ask for an approval from everybody that is involved in the process, right? Or the more advanced way is email chain. Okay, so I request, then I send it to my HR review it, send it to the next person, and then that person might take 2 days or 2 weeks to approve, you know? So it's really very troublesome, okay? So with JustLogin's workflow creation, if some of you are a customer, you might have seen this, okay? But it is actually tied back to our other modules, okay, that is using this workflow creation. It is actually very versatile also. You can actually set up to 7 levels. You can decide which form to go to which approval, okay? So I'll show the video in a bit. And then JustLogin AI framework. So of course, our custom form is also integrated with AI, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, even though our form is very versatile, sometimes you need to know what fields for what form, okay? And then at that point of time, you might not be able to think of any, okay? So no worries. A click of button, we will actually generate all the fields for you that is related or relevant to the form that you are looking for. And mobile application. How many of you don't bring your mobile phone out nowadays? No, right? Mobile phone is actually very important to us. I think if I'm driving, I will turn back to my house to take my phone, then I'll continue my journey, okay? So our custom form is actually in the mobile application now, so that the requester, which is the user, and the approver can actually do both actions using the mobile app, okay? So let's start with a quick video on the customizable side of things. So you can create a new form. Just put in your, the form name. So we are going for a travel request form, okay? And then a quick description, and you will see that purple color button, AI field suggestion, all right? So based on your travel request form, the name of the form, we will generate all the fields that is relevant to the form, okay? Of course, you can always go ahead and change the naming that they have provided, okay? And then just add it to the form. Some of the fields is a drop-down. It's a text field, so AI is actually smart enough to suggest whether this is a drop-down, this is a text box, yes or no question, okay? So you can just choose, and then all this basic information is actually from our Just people, because your employees might need to fill up all this information, right? So you can just drag and drop, all right? And then this is what we call as a custom field, okay? Some fields are not available. You also have the flexibility to create the fields on the go. So for example, you want an emergency contact because they are traveling overseas. And the field type can be any. We have text, attachment, date picker. So you name it, we have it. And then you can just save it. So once you save it, it will actually show up at the bottom there. You can drag and drop to your form. And then you can save your form. Your form is done. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So you don't have to go through the entire process of creating the form manually from scratch anymore. All right? So once this is done, what will happen? You need to create workflow. So this is the approving process that I was talking about earlier. Okay? So every form that you see here, you can set up different workflow. Okay? So you can decide which form goes to who. Okay? So you can set up the workflow name, and then you can actually select the officers, the approving officers that's going to be part of this form. Okay, so the first level, second level, okay, as I mentioned, we have up to 7 levels. We also have cross-entity, okay, which means that if your supervisor or the person that's supposed to approve the form is from a different entity, you can also assign them, and then you can actually assign to all the employees that is going to be involved in this particular form itself. All right? So that is how you can actually set up the workflow. Now, the requesting of the form from the user side. Okay, so this is the web. So from the web, a user can actually go in. They will see the form that you have assigned to them, and they can just click on request. So basic information from Just People will automatically be filled up. They don't have to do anything, and then they can fill up the rest of the information, like travel purpose, travel date, and other information that is required. And then they can click on submit. And once they click on submit, once they click on submit, it will actually trigger the workflow, which means that it will go through the entire approving flow, all right? So now, to the next important aspect, mobile application. Web, you need a laptop, you need an iPad. Sometimes we don't carry both with us, right? But mobile application, mobile, as I mentioned earlier, we don't leave the house without it. So how it's going to be done? Users can actually apply, request for a form on the go. So they will see all their forms over there, and then they can just click on request. Yep. And then they can just fill up the necessary information. Okay? So same thing, all the basic information will be filled up accordingly for them. So business trip, okay, they can choose the number of travel days. They want to travel for 3 days, okay, and then the date, they can just select the date that they're supposed to travel, and then they can submit the form. So now, this again will trigger the workflow. So when this is done, what will happen is the approver will receive an email. So it doesn't matter users submit it from a web or from a mobile application, it will trigger an email to the approving officer. So we are going to see the last approver, okay? So when the approver actually receive a notification, they can immediately go to their mobile phone, they will see their to-do list over here, and they can just go ahead and approve or reject the claim. Reject the form, sorry. Okay, and then if there were any other approving officers before them, they will also be able to see who were they, the date, the time that was done. All right? And finally, from the user side, they can just go in, they can see their completed tab, and they will be able to see all the forms that has been approved or rejected. Okay? And then including all the other necessary information. Okay, so we have come to the end of custom form. So custom form, yeah. So for recruitment and custom form, as I mentioned earlier, this is actually the version 2.0. Okay, so try it out. I believe that you guys might have heard, might have not heard. Okay, so try it out. If you guys have any question you would like to talk to any one of us, feel free to do so. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, again, same thing. If you have questions for Patricia regarding recruitment and custom form 2.0, you can... Sorry, I pressed something here again. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so again, you can scan the QR code and ask your questions there. All right, so again, this is regarding recruitment or custom forms. So I have already seen you guys have asked quite a lot of questions, so it's time to actually do the Q&A. All right, so I would like to invite, again, Casey and Venkat on stage for the Q&A. Okay, just one moment. Okay, so I see about 17 questions have been asked. So we'll spend the next about 15 minutes to answer some of these questions. All right, so I'll give you this mic. I'll take another mic. But let me ask Casey first. So one question that's been highlighted. When it comes to AI, how will security be managed with user access roles with the AI chat in JustLogin?
Okay, very good question. Our AI framework is designed in such a way that user access will have the same right as what they have on the web. If you are allowed to leave information of other people on the web, you can ask about that in AI. But if you are not allowed to see that, you can't see. So it's exactly the same as your login credential. Whatever you are assigned, if you are assigned as the manager of somebody or assigned as an administrator for something, you will be given the right to access that on the web as well as from AI. Otherwise, if you are not allowed to see, you will not be able to see. So there is control that way.
Okay, fantastic. Now another question, can the AI chatbot be used to change data? For example, to add 100 mobile allowance to all employees. So can it change the data by just prompting?
Okay, a very good question. That is called AI agent actually. We are right now at primary 6, and that is secondary school. But we are studying hard going to that. So if you are here next year, product launch, you will see that and more. Right, so the works is in the pipeline.
Okay, very good. All right, so now somebody's asking about export formats for the output from the chatbot.
Okay, Actually, AI is amazing. I just don't know what to say. When you say, give me this information, plot a chart, it do that. And when you say, export it into CSV, it will do that as well. So it's not up to me, it's up to the AI. It will get the data, create a CSV file, click the link, download, you know. Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right. Again, if you have any questions, keep them coming along. It's the same link over here, all right? Okay. Now, a question on the AI chatbot. Will this be available to existing subscribers, or is it a separate subscription?
Okay, for the AI that is embedded in the modules that you already have, it will be included. But for the AI chatbot, what I can say is, I think you all know, AI is not cheap. It's very expensive. OpenAI right now is valued at 150 billion, and they are raising, don't know, tens of billions to build another data center. And if you want to sign up for ChatGPT Plus, it's 20 USD per month. If you know, Microsoft is charging 30 USD for Copilot per user per month. So because it's very expensive. But rest assured, we will be a fraction of that. So chatbot is going to be like an additional module, but it's going to be a fraction of what Microsoft charged for their Copilot. Yeah.
Okay, now a question for Venkat, actually. On the appraisal module, will appraisal be free for users, or do they need a separate subscription as well?
Oh, okay. You all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can get the feedback. Okay. The appraisal module itself is tied to our enterprise plan. So we have 3 plans right now. So this is the top tier plan. So it'll get bundled along with it. But however, if you do wish to purchase it independently, you can reach out to some of our beautiful AMs out there, and they will help you out on a case-by-case basis on how it can be taken separately. Yeah?
Okay, on that note, actually, we are opening up for beta users who are interested as well. So if you have seen the sweep widget lucky draw, one of the things that you can perform, one of the actions, is to let us know your interest to be a beta user. Right? So if you actually just submit that, you'll get an increased chance to win the lucky draw, plus we'll then contact you as well, because we're opening up for beta users, I think, for the rest of the year. Right? Okay. Now, a question from this person. I've subscribed for the custom form module. Okay? How do I see the custom form on mobile? Is there a setting I have to enable?
Oh, the mobile app is actually brand new. This is a teaser that you saw just now. So pretty soon, we will open it up for beta. Is it part of the sweepstakes?
Yeah,
Can. So then if you are interested in it, just participate in that, and then you'll be reached out to enable it for your own company very soon. Okay?
Okay, wonderful. Now, a question on the receipt scanning. This person asks, can the image recognition function of the AI chatbot be used for functions other than receipt scanning?
I mean, the same engine can be used for anything, but the way we design is only for our expense claim. So it's only designed to do receipt scanning. But the capability can do many things. Yeah.
Okay. Now, a question on potential shortfalls. With AI being integrated, what do you think are the potential shortfalls for both the employees and the HR manager's point of view? It's a tough question.
I mean, they have been talked, by some people say, okay, AI may replace jobs, may replace it, and may replace that. But to me, it helps people, help us to reduce our workload, right? So that we can do something more important. So it's something that we cannot stop. It's something that is unavoidable. So let's not worry about something that we cannot control, but let's think about how we can leverage on that for our benefits to make our life better, right? Of course, you will have side effects, but who knows?
Venkat, anything to add?
Yeah. one of the funny pitfalls would be that it just makes us lazy, especially when you find use cases like this, when you don't need to search for reports and all. I'm sure you'll get used to it, used to the comfort of it, not just on the HR landscape, but generally everywhere AI is intrusive. So it would make us lazy. That's the pitfall.
Yeah, if you look at my presentation, actually, all the images, all the charts, I just get ChatGPT. You see the chart on ChatGPT 01 or that, I just put a prompt and say, generate a chart for ChatGPT and come up with a chart, I just paste into that. I want an image, create an image for this and do it. So it helps me a lot, save my time, and I love it, yeah.
As a former lazy person, we are the most efficient. So find the easiest way to do things. So I think ChatGPT has definitely helped. Okay, now another question on security, but slightly different question. So how does JustLogin handle the data security while using AI, especially since there's sensitive information like your personal data, your payslip information, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I have addressed this question earlier, but basically, there's a term in OpenAI when we use their system that if we ask information about our data through API, they promise that they will not use it for training. Right? If you ask directly through your individual chat, there was no such promise. But if you go through the enterprise channel, the way we use it, they promise in the terms that they will not use it for training. And in terms of sensitive data, as I explained, it will be based on your role. So there will be nothing that is more sensitive. If you can access the information on the web, you can access it on the chat. If you cannot access, you will not be able to see. So you cannot say, can I see the payslip of so-and-so, your colleague? No, you will get a message that you are not allowed to see. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. A question on the beta testing that we covered a little bit earlier. Somebody asked, are there beta test versions of everything presented today for us to try? So we did talk about the appraisal module, that will be for beta. The mobile section for, what was it? Custom forms, yep. But for recruitment and custom forms 2.0, since that's already available, can you let us know, how can somebody try out all the new stuff that we've shown today?
Yeah, our recruitment modules was launched last September, so it's already live. But we welcome you if you think that, okay, I'm not sure if I need it, I want it. If you need a trial, 1 month, 2 months, come and approach your AMs, we can work out something for you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, somebody asked, if another company that they are currently using already have some form of performance appraisal, can that be integrated with JustLogin?
Okay, two-part answer. Just move on to us. Just come to us. That's the easiest answer. The flip side is, it really depends on the capability of the PMS that you're using right now. If you already have one, they should also have the capability to talk to our system. If so, maybe on a case-by-case basis as a customization, we could consider integration. So it's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. So yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Now a question on visitor management, first one. So this person asked, can we send the invite to the coordinating person of the company, right? So instead of the individual invitation or individual people coming down, the coordinating person, and have them register for multiple workers or multiple people.
So one person register on behalf of multiple people. I think the email invites are more individualized to the exact person who needs to come in, right? But there's another way to do this. So if you had seen the presentation from CG, you would have seen this QR code there, right? The QR code is nothing but a link which could be shared around. So if someone is going to visit an office as a team, right, and there's a coordinator or any kind of space with one coordinator, then that link can be used to register the members of the team by anyone. So that's how you can do this.
Okay, now a question on appraisal. How are weightages assigned across different sections? So, there's goals 70%, competencies 30%. Can somebody customize that, change that? How is it assigned?
Okay. The weightages right now that you saw on my presentation was, it's more granularized to a question level. We do not yet have category level weightages. So if one of your survey forms had like 3 categories and you want one category to be 30%, the next one to be 70%, we don't have that yet, but it's in pipeline. It's in pipeline.
Okay. We'll do 2 more questions. Okay, we're coming up to the end. We'll do 2 more questions. One person asks, can custom form allow anonymous response for feedback that staff can just kindly share without revealing their identity?
I think I would say no.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because
The
custom
use
form
case-
is designed for your corporate workflow. If you have a pigeonhole with all the forms, it can replace every form because you can create any form you have there with the fields you want, create your own custom fields, and on top of that, you will need to create workflow. So we need to know who you are in order to route to the next person. The next person could be your manager. So if you don't know who you are, you can't even log into the mobile app to submit. So we submit the form, we need to know who you are to route to, and when it's approved, we need to know approved for who. So this is not designed as a survey form or something. It's designed as to replace the forms in the pigeonholes. But you provide the workflow on top of it to route to for approval.
Okay, we'll end off with a fun question. Can the HR super user or super admin track what the employees are asking on the chatbot?
No, I would say no. The chatbot has the capability to keep chat history of you. So you want to say, oh, yesterday I asked this question, I have answer, I can go there and see, you can. But another person without access to your account will not be able to see. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Casey, and thank you, Venkat. This ends our Q&A session. There's a few more that I will answer myself, right? So somebody's asking about, if they can have a trial by themselves. They felt that maybe, today was a little bit short. Again, there are 2 ways to do this. One, we have demo booths at the back, right? You can actually take a look. Our AMs are there to kind of run it through with you. And secondly, you can also request for a demo, right? Same thing in the sweep widget. There is one option for be a beta user. There's another option for I want to book a demo, right? So if you submit your interest, we'll contact you afterwards to make sure that you get your demo. You get to see how you can use it for your own company. All right. So this marks the end of Q&A, right? So now we have our free and easy time. Okay. So we have our live demos at the back, like I mentioned. We have food outside, and of course you can just network amongst here in the auditorium, outside area as well, right? So you can just mix and mingle, ask your questions at the back, and try it out. All right. So before I let you go, again, join our lucky draw. We are gonna have it at 5:45. Okay, 5:45. So you have 1 hour or maybe about 50 minutes. Okay, to mix and mingle, go makan, come back at 5:45. We have 3 winners, $400 worth of prizes. All right, so you can scan and then you can join the giveaway, perform all the different actions. There's like share a LinkedIn post, book a demo, I want to be a beta customer. We can even leave a testimonial, and it's also our post-event feedback survey. Okay, one more time. I'll go back. I see some people still scanning. This is for lucky draw. Okay? Inside also, there's an option for you to fill in the survey. If you don't want to do the lucky draw, you just want to fill the survey, we are more than welcome as well. All right, so this is for Just Login. If you're interested to give us some feedback about today's session, please scan the QR code and fill in the post-event feedback survey. It's just about 8 questions long. All right, so thank you again for attending Just Login's product launch. I will let you go out and enjoy some good food from Stanford Catering. If you're interested for the lucky draw, come back at 5:45 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.